right, so I just ran into Michael Sterl here on the floor, and he's got some really amazing things going. You know, it's fun to just have met him, actually not. So the fun fact about Michael is that he and I started Simple Signal together way back when none of this stuff worked. But now it does, and we've both been able to take off from our life with Simple Signal and do some interesting things. And one of the things that Michael's has done is Cloud Optic, and so I just been really excited about where you're going with this whole thing. So maybe you can give us a real quick overview of what Cloud Optic does and is.
Yeah, for sure. So the way we think about Cloud Optic is how do we take knowledge and turn it into action? And if you look at what the market's been doing with service providers, as we once were, there's a lot of data that's held in many systems, and so our idea is how do we extract that data, how do we turn that data into action? And what I mean by that is how do we increase customer adoption on features we've been selling them, how do we give marketing information to make more targeted messages to current customers or prospects. So there's this whole big data analytics component that's out there generically, and we're starting to really focus and target on service providers and really the technology brokers and how to help them or sales enable them to obviously go sell more, but then look at their customer base, nurture and grow over time.
So what is it that you're doing to increase the customer experience? You've been a super proponent of the customer experience being the key thing when it comes to unified communications, and so you've invented a tool that people are doing more than just experiencing. They are engaging in it. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately what happens is the service provider sells a premium bundle, generically put, and that premium bundle has many features. Let's call it 30 features that are within that bundle. And what we do is we deliver the product or the solution, we provision it, and then we move on to the next customer. We try to go acquire a new customer. And we tend to forget that there's a whole nurture aspect or step within the process. So if you look at it and you say, what if we sell the customer the premium bundle, and then we go back in and then educate them or train them on all these features that they either know about, don't know about, or aren't sure how it's actually going to increase, efficiencies on their side. So the idea is we've already acquired something. My analogy that is, you buy a car. Well, what do you want to do? You want to know how the Bluetooth works. You want to know how satellite radio works. You want to know how autopilot works. Within a Tesla. Like, there's so much feature functionality that it overwhelms people. And so if we can grab the data, we can look at it, we can actually put a process in place that says, okay, train on XYZ. Once you've done that, now go cross-sell ABC. And so that's the idea of simplifying where the market is and where it's going. It's all based on customer adoption, based on the feature functionality we're selling them.
So most of the people don't know what they really have when it comes to their unified communications, other than just the basic features. But they have hundreds of features that could change the way their business works, and you're helping them to discover that.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is we're in a market that you have to sell an all-you-can-eat bundle based on feature functionality.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're a proprietary platform, a BroadSoft, a Metaswitch, a NetSapiens. Everybody's selling an all-you-can-eat bundle with all these features. That's nice, but what we've tend to forget is that we're not really enhancing the customer experience or creating stickiness within the customer. Say, how do we keep them a customer, or how do we enhance customer lifetime value? And it's simple numbers of taking a step back and saying it costs 5 to 6 times more to acquire a new customer than it does to upsell, cross-sell an existing. And you've already dealt with the decision maker of the existing customer, and they're already on your platform, and now it's just creating or enhancing the feature adoption. And how do we get those subscribers or customers to look at the value, the true value that we promised them in the initial sale? Now we have to put that through a cycle. And the way we look at it is it's like I said, no different than any other technology. It just traditionally telcos haven't done that. They'd rather acquire new customers. They have high incentives incentives based on just multiple accounts versus actually creating an incentive to enhance more features within a customer. So if we show value on a customer uses 5 features and then they go to 10 and then we provided a commission on that, well, now we actually have the whole company buying in on what we've done to acquire the customer and then keep them at the end of the day.
Yeah, that just sounds like a recipe for stickiness. I just think that totally is exciting. And the other part to that is it can be a training tool for these channel partners that we're talking about today, because when they understand what's available in these different switches and they can see it and point it out to a customer simply and easily, oh my gosh, that changes everything.
Yeah, and for me, let's put that into the marketing side, right? So as we look at it at Cloud Optic, it's the big data side. If we look at it Carve Digital, it's the marketing as a service or sales enablement. If we look at the historical data, what it does is gives us trends on what type of customer are we selling to, what industry, what size are they, what email platform are they on, what features are they using, and we can actually take that structure and now you apply that in a go-forward strategy. Now you apply that where I'm talking to the insurance broker, I know they use these 3 features every single time. I don't have to waste time on the sales cycle to tell them about other stuff. So now I'm speeding up the sales cycle. I'm increasing in operational efficiencies or provisioning speed to go to market where they've come in, my team knows exactly how insurance brokers are operating, what we're going to deploy, and then ultimately you know how to support them because now the trends are telling us insurance runs into these issues. And so the data overall now starts to map out literally from prospect to growth in the way I view it. And now you can rinse and repeat that. And it's, as Chris Santos from Protoscore always tells me, like, that's where you start then focusing on the riches or in the niches. And we get really, really good at a customer profile, a feature profile, and now we can go to market, and now we're experts or true trusted advisors based on that offer.
Yeah, that's just powerful use of the data. But let's talk about big data and what you collect in that process that's so helpful.
So we look at it from initially there's a starting point. So it's the gym analogy where all we want to do is get the gym membership and get the service provider into the gym. So in our world, we assess or do an audit of the platform to better understand just what have you done? What licenses are you selling? What features are being used or turned on or turned off? What are available? What devices do you have? And once you run that initial assessment, then you look for, okay, have we identified any issues? Maybe it's users are being built, but no features are being signed, or we have locations with no users, in them. But the other side of that is we try to surface opportunities based on what can we do next. And so we start to think not only on the training that we've talked about, now what's the cross-sell? So I know if you're on a Polycom or now Poly IP handset, well, what are you doing for your mobile integration? What app are you using there? What headset could support both of those? What devices are rolled out that are end of life or end of support based on the manufacturer's release? So we start to identify possibly security holes in devices that are out there. And then the other side of that is we look at it and say, if we know the customer's using these features and we take a step back and we understand if they're on G Suite or Microsoft 365, well, maybe there's a way to build integration around that. So we start to tie in customer intelligence based on attributes of that customer. Again, size, email platform they're on, maybe what CRM they're using. And the whole idea is to build a true integration solution, knowing you can't do it day one. So it's this crawl, walk, run, collect the data, assess, identify issues, surface opportunities, and then rinse and repeat going forward.
Yeah, it sounds like Cloud Optic is just an amazing piece of software. So congratulations on building it. Exciting to see it hit the marketplace. So if people want to get to know you or contact you, how do they do it?
Yeah, so you can go to cloudoptic.com, so cloudoptik.com, or you can email hello@cloudoptic.com, and happy to have more discussions, talk through how we're helping the technology brokers, how we're helping service providers, and where we see the future going with AI or recommendation engines, but really leveraging what big data is out there that's in front of us that we just historically haven't paid attention to.
That's awesome. All right. Well, thank you. Talk to you.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Around the show.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So, in the process of knowing Michael Sterl, he has scared me many times. We had to actually go and get a key man insurance policy for this next one. So, a fun fact about Michael Sterl is
Avid skier. My general saying is if there's a gate or it says avalanche access, we generally take it. So
you will die if you go past this fence.
Yeah, so those generally won't detour us. But yeah, I think it's a work hard, play hard, and if you ever get an email from me, at the bottom of my mobile signature it says sent from the local ski lift, which generally draws quite a bit of conversation around it. I'm not always on the ski lift physically, but mentally pretty much there.
So one time, Michael Sterl decided to take the supreme risk and went to Alaska and heli-skied. You want to talk about that one for a second?
Yeah, it's one of those checklists that you have out there with friends, and when your friend's a guide and skis every day and has an opportunity to take you on probably a lot of terrain you shouldn't be on, or allows for a fear factor at a level that most aren't comfortable with, you kind of just go with it and figure out how to fix it if anything happens, but it's kind of a go big, go home scenario.
It's insane. It was vertical. I saw pictures. You had to hang from the helicopter and then drop into it. And you had beepers on your thing just in case there was going to be an avalanche, which there was all the time. So that was just crazy, man. But you survived.
Yeah.
Glad you're still here.
Yeah. If you're not falling, you're not trying. That's my motto.